Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, sofas-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And today, I want to show you how to make a quick and easy vegan chili. So chili is a great staple. It's very dense, it's filling, it's got tons of nutrients in it, and it's delicious. I personally really enjoy chili. And so, I wanted to show you that you don't always have to do everything, from scratch. You can do things a little bit simply sometimes. And I wanted to show you a variation of making a chili, and we're going to use it in the Instant Pot. Of course, if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can cook it on the stovetop. It might take a little bit longer, but it's still a very easy thing to do. And so the first thing I want to talk about is onions. We're going to have some onions. We're going to also have some bell peppers in this. And here, I've got just a half an onion right here. So yes, you might just have a half an onion, or you might have an onion that you can dice up and cut up. And that works great. And the same thing with a bell pepper. You can chop it up and you're ready to go. But you could also get frozen. And this one is a 3-pepper and onion blend. It's onions, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, and yellow bell pepper. And so this is great. And it's great because it has the onion in it too. So we're going to use this. I also have some that was fresh, organic bell peppers that I just froze because they didn't get used up. And so I'm going to, throw those in. So I'm going to not use this one for this recipe just because I want to show you variation, but I do want you to see that you could use it. And because this is mixed with the bell pepper, I am going to cut up the rest of this onion, or at least a part of it, and dice it. And this already had some slices in it, so that's why when I'm cutting it, it's coming out looking diced up already. And how you do that is you just make a grate. It's a grate. And by doing that, you just kind of push down, not all the way through, because if you go all the way through, of course, then you're just going to cut it off. You want it to still hold on. And look, sometimes it comes off anyways. Oh, well. So it's, that's okay. We can hand chop a little bit also. So let me just finish this. And then I'm going to go ahead and chop this. This is not, this little piece on top I don't want because it looks not so great. And there we go. Look at this. So we have plenty of onion now between the bag and the half that I had left over. Or you can use one whole onion. You can, just get frozen onion. I've even seen onion in the produce department where it's just, it's not frozen and it's already pre-chopped. So whatever works for you when you're in a pinch, this is the idea behind this. So whatever you have is going to work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, maybe I'll just scoop this in here just to get it out of the way so we can continue talking. And then we're just going to pull the Instant Pot over here. Now, I don't know about you, but I think onions and garlic make everything taste delicious. I also like mushrooms, but this one, we're not putting mushrooms in. You certainly could if you wanted to. We're going to do bell pepper instead. And so we've got these things ready to go. And then another thing I want to add is corn. Now, corn, I like fresh corn. I especially like organic corn. I happen to have some that's not organic. I think it was given to me and I just am going to use it up. But this one is roasted and it's the end of the bag. Look, I just don't have that much. Let's measure what we have here. So this is just some roasted corn. Yeah, This is just under a cup. So that's good. And so you have that, it's roasted. Now, if you had fresh corn, you could literally cut it off the cob and you're ready to go as well. I also have another bag of frozen organic super sweet corn. We're gonna cut this open and we're gonna add some of this as well. So you just wanna use up what you have, or, you know, if it's not opened or whatever, like, you can just kind of figure out what works for you. And so I'm just gonna pour this on top just to show you. See, it's different color, but it doesn't matter. And I'll probably put maybe another cup of that as well. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this guy open. Let's see what this looks like. This bag here. And I just wanna read on the back, you always wanna make sure to check the ingredients because the bags can be tricky. They can have fillers, additives, salt, oils, and you don't even know it. So this one says ingredients: onions, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper. End of story. This is good for me. And so I'm just gonna open this up and you can see what that looks like. And it is similar to the onion that we cut. And these I'm gonna give a rough chop to, and we're gonna be set. We're gonna be set. Okay. So let me do that. I'm gonna just move this out of the way. Ta-da! I love things that are simple and they'll still be delicious, just as delicious as if you made it, you know, by chopping it all yourself. Another thing about frozen vegetables and fruits, frankly, are usually frozen when they're at their peak ripeness. And so they're kind of like, you know, picked when they're at their ripest and frozen. And so by the time you get it and thaw it, it's really good. Of course, that's a benefit to frozen. So I'm just, for the sake of convenience, and I'm just gonna put this temporarily in here, join it with the rest of the bag. And there we go. Okay, so we are ready. It's that simple. So let me go ahead and grab the Instant Pot, which is right here. Now, like I said, if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can certainly get like a Dutch oven or other big pot, and you can go ahead and put the onions and the bell peppers and the corn in it, and just kind of let it get a little translucent. In fact, I think I will hold off on putting the corn in for a minute or so. So let me put this on here. I'm gonna take the lid off. We're not gonna use the lid right now. And I'm gonna put this on a saute mode. So it automatically comes on here, and depending on the kind that you have, there is a saute. Mine is down here at the bottom, so I'm just gonna push that button. And what's gonna happen is, if you're not familiar with it, I guess I'll use this still, is that it's gonna heat up the bottom, just like as if it were on the stovetop. See, it's telling us it's ready. And so I'm just gonna give it a minute or so, and it's gonna be hot, and then I'm gonna pour it in there. And I'm gonna use this guy right here that came with it, and I'm just gonna stir it up for a minute or so. Then once that's done, we are gonna move on to adding some other ingredients. And I'll just talk about some of the seasonings that I have here. First of all, we're gonna add fresh garlic. Now, I've seen garlic peeled. I've seen it in the refrigerated section. I've seen it frozen. And of course, you could always use fresh. You don't have fresh? Use garlic powder. So there's always a solution, right? You just got to think a little bit outside of the box. Now, if you do get the frozen garlic, please check the ingredients, because I have found that there were added things and there wasn't really that much garlic in my frozen garlic when I had tried it before. And so, I tend not to use that, but that doesn't mean, you know, you shouldn't. Anyways, I have it here. I'm gonna go ahead and mince it. And I'm using this mincer. I love this mincer. I think I'll just mince it right back in the bowl just for now. And I just love this. And then I'm just gonna peel it off. And I'm going to keep loading it up. And if you don't have a mincer or you don't want to mince it and you don't have it pre-minced or pre-ready to go, you could just chop it up. Just finely chop it up with your knife. No big deal. It really doesn't take that long at all. And the flavor garlic offers and the nutritional benefit is just fantastic. I really, really like it. And I've got one more to do here, and then I'm going to check on our pot. It might be ready to roll. Okay. Now, using the knife the way I just did, I know I'm doing it. I shouldn't because it can dull the tip of the knife. So using something else might be better. And then for this particular one, I just kind of scrape it out with my finger and then I rinse it right away, because if you leave the garlic in the press and like you just put it in the sink and you don't rinse it out, these little holes get terribly plugged, and oh, it is oh so not fun. So give me a second while I rinse this and then we're gonna move on. Okay, I just have a little bit of water. I just wanna show you, we're gonna test and see that this is hot enough. I'm just gonna take, yep, see, hear that? It's hot. I'm not kidding when I say it's hot. Okay, so let's get busy. So we're gonna dump this in, all the onion. Sounds great, doesn't it? That sizzle, I love the sound of the sizzle. The sound of the sizzle. Okay, and then we're gonna add more onion and all the bell pepper. Woo, just like that. And now I'm just gonna stand over here and I'm just gonna like let it do its thing. Now, being that it's frozen, there is a component of water or liquid to it, more so than maybe if you had used it fresh. So whatever it is, you just want to let it burn off so that it's there's not any like liquid in here from sometimes there's like little pieces of ice that form in the freezer or whatever. So we're just going to let that do its thing, and then once that's ready, we will add in the corn, which I'm going to bring this onion bowl in and put in the roasted corn and the regular corn. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this corn because why not? I usually prefer organic corn. So if you can find organic corn, I highly recommend that if you're going to use corn, you use organic. And if you don't want corn or you don't have corn, yep, skip it. Okay, I'm going to put the rest in the freezer. And now let's give this a quick stir. It might take a few minutes because it's so cold too. The temperature may take a few minutes. So then we're going to have the corn next. Then we're going to add the garlic. And so until that's all ready, I want to talk to you about the next steps after that. And so the thing is that I'm trying to show you simple ways, right? So I have this beautiful pot of beans that I recently cooked in the Instant Pot. I will link the video in case you haven't seen it, and you can learn how to make these from scratch. But what if you don't have any beans ready to go from scratch? Plan B is canned beans. Now, I am going to be using kidney beans, black beans, and pinto beans. And you know what? You can use any combination of any beans you'd like. I like to have the variety of different beans because they offer different nutritional value. I personally like the ones that say no added salt. These just happen to be from my grocery store, but I like that there's no added salt. I like that it's a non-BPA lining. It says that it's vegan, so there's no lard or anything added. And then I also check the label. Prepared pinto beans and water. This will work for me. And it's like that with all of these. So These are good for me. Now you might notice, and you might not, the top is a little wet because I tend to wash the tops. I don't know how long they've been sitting on the shelves or what may have touched them, and I just think it's a good idea to, wash the tops, and then we can go ahead and use a can opener. I love this can opener. This is the OXO, or however you say that, can opener. It's really great if you have any kind of problems with your hands, any kind of rheumatoid arthritis, or anything where you need bigger things to hold on to. And when I was having a lot of issues, this was really a great thing for me. And so it's a little bit different. I put it here, on top like this and squeeze, and then I just twist the handle. And this is really nice because it doesn't leave a sharp blade at the top, the way that it cuts it. And I tend to just go around twice just to make sure that it's all the way cut. And then what you do is you open it, and there is this little piece right here, and you can see when I close it, it chomps out. So what I'm going to do is grab the lid with that, and there you go, and it comes right off. And it is a no sharp, not sharp here, and which is great. So I'm going to open the rest of these, and we're going to drain them. But let's take a quick look in here. This is starting to do exactly what I said it was. Do you see the liquid? Can you see that? And that's fine. So we're going to end up doing this sauté a little bit longer than maybe if you used fresh, but like not that much longer. So I think it's still good. So let me go and open these cans. I just want to take a minute and thank you so much. If you're a subscriber, I so appreciate you offering your support, and I really want you to know how much that means to me. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And please give this a thumbs up. Help me spread the word about the benefits of whole food plant-based eating and how it can really do a body good. It really can. Also, if you want to chat, leave a comment below. Have you made chili in the Instant Pot or on the stovetop before? Is there something that you would add or do different? Do you have a question? Just let me know. So we've got all of these open now. I'm going to put the can opener aside. I want to keep checking this because this, see, you can really see, look at all that water. Liquid, liquid, liquid. And so if you were doing this on the stovetop, you would just keep going, sauteing it. And then what I'm going to do is take a bowl. Now you could do this certainly over the sink, but for the sake of showing you, I'm just going to drain all the beans. Now I do like to save a lot of the broth, and I do save the aquafaba when we do the kidney beans. Not kidney beans, I'm sorry, the garbanzo beans. When we do chickpeas, if they're in a can, I'll save the liquid. If I make them fresh, I'll save the liquid, and I'll use that. That's aquafaba, and you can use it in a lot of different recipes in all kinds of different ways. When I make fresh beans, I also save the liquid. But in the canned beans, for me, I don't. So I either rinse these or I leave them like this, and then I discard the liquid that came with it. So it's up to you what you'd like to do with that. I think I'm just going to give these a little rinse, and I'll be right there. Now, a lot of times when I rinse beans that are from a can, I see this foam on it. And I always feel like that means that I don't know if it has something to do with the gases. I'm not sure what it means, but I always try to rinse it so that it gets off. I just rinse it until it's gone. But I left a tiny bit here because I wanted to show you that. Do you know what that means? Okay, let's take a quick peek here. Oh yes, this is now nice and soft. It's just a little bit of the liquid still, so we're just gonna let that burn off. Now, what I could do if I really wanted to is I could spill it off, but I think it'll burn off pretty quickly here. The last one that we're gonna add is going to be some diced or crushed tomato tomatoes. I have these in the can. You can certainly use fresh. I'm going to show you some options. I should say an option. I really like these little tomatoes, and I would certainly maybe cut these up and throw them in if I didn't have the canned on hand. But for simplicity, I just want to show you this one is also no salt added, which is great. And this was what they had available at my store. I normally really like the Muir Glen. It's a different brand, and they have a fire roasted, and they have a no salt, and it's organic. But my store was out of it, so you go with what you have. And this is a non-GMO, so I'm gonna go. Just reading the ingredients, it's tomatoes, tomato juice, calcium chloride, and citric acid. This does... What's interesting is it says no salt added, and then on the back it says not a sodium-free food. So what does that mean? That means that the tomatoes naturally may have some sodium in them, and that's good. We just don't want added sodium. So anyways, we do the best we can, and what's great about this one, we don't need the can opener. We just do one of these guys. And what I like to do with the liquid is after I dump the last can of ingredients, I pour the liquid in here, and I'll show you that in a few minutes, to get all the goodies that are left in the can. So here we go, look at this. You see how it's really bubbling up? It's doing really well. Now, the last thing I want to talk about while this is finishing up, getting prepared, are some of the spices that we're going to add. And I've got a bunch of different things here. You can add all of these, you can add some of these, you can put different ones in. You just want to add some type of flavor. And so some of these that I'm showing you right here are the paprika. I have a smoked sweet paprika, but you could use smoked or sweet. And there's ground cumin. We have some chili powder, of course. It's chili, so I want chili powder in it. I have some oregano and some cayenne. Now, I'm also wanting to add some fresh serrano pepper from our tree. And I'm concerned that this is going to be too spicy. So I only am using half of the serrano pepper. This particular one I had in the freezer because I picked them off of my tree. And then when I have so many, what do I do with them? I either dehydrate them or I put them in the freezer. And that seems to take a little bit of the edge off. So if you freeze one, you might, it might not be as strong. Plus, I took out the seeds, and I'm only using half. So we're going to add all that in just a short bit. Let's take another peek here. Oh yeah, we're getting close. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add the corn in. Now, could I wait? I could have waited a little bit longer, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I'm also going to add all the garlic. Now, we could have waited till all the water was done and that it started to brown up a little bit at the bottom like you normally see in a pan. But here's the thing, you don't have to. And nothing's going to go wrong about it. It's going to be great. So I'm just going to kind of mix this up and let it kind of start to cook a little bit. And then we're going to turn the saute feature off. And we're going to put the rest of the ingredients in there and click it and close it and just finish it up. Okay, let's take a look here. This is looking wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some more stuff. So let's go ahead, and I'm careful when I touch these peppers because the thing is, the seeds are like so potent. And if you ever touch it and you touch your eye, oh man, that's a bad day because it will burn, it can sting. And so I either have my husband cut these up or I try to use gloves, like kitchen gloves, but I just put a little bit in there and then I'm going to put that one over there. I'm going to go ahead now and add the beans, all the beans right in the pot. And we're going to also add our can of tomatoes right in there. Look at this. Now this is what I'm talking about. Do you see the can is empty, right? But the edge still has some. And so we're going to be putting liquid in here. Now you can use water. I have some frozen homemade vegetable broth, and I'm going to pour it in, but I'm going to pour it in here first. And I'll show you what I mean. And this is just me because I like to get every drop. I'm going to just pour it in here. Pour the rest in here. And then I kind of swish it around a little bit, and I just, you know, get every drop. So you don't have to do that, but that's just me. And then we're going to take all of the seasonings that we talked about, and I'm going to get all of those in here. And now we're going to give it a nice stir, blend everything up, and it's going to be time to close the lid. Now, if you were cooking this on the stove top, you would do the same thing. You would have your pot, you would do the sauté at the beginning, like I said, and then you would just add all of these things. Now that one you have to babysit a little bit more, and that's okay. It shouldn't take more than, 20 or 30 minutes because everything for the most part is cooked. I mean, you had some frozen stuff that's not cooked, but all the beans are cooked, the tomatoes are cooked, and so it's just a matter of meshing the flavors and, just getting it to cook a little bit. Of course, you want everything incorporated here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, cancel button, and now I'm going to get our lid, our Instant Pot lid, line it up at 11 o'clock, fits right in, twist, seal, and I'm going to put it for 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on, this is 8, so I'm going to move it down to 5 minutes. And let it tell us that it heard our message. So while we're waiting, oh, there it is. Thank you, Instant Pot, for making the job so easy. So as soon as it is done with the 5 minutes, we're going to quick release, and then we're going to add some toppings like some scallion and fresh cilantro that I'm going to chop up and a little bit of lime. And you're good to go. You can eat it just how it comes in the bowl. You can put it over rice. You can put it over potatoes. You can do anything with it. It's just going to be great. All right, so we'll be back as soon as this beeps, and I'm going to clean up for now. Okay, so there's about 1 minute left on the Instant Pot. I cleaned everything up, and I just kind of wanted to show you some of the toppings. I went ahead and cut some garlic chive. I happen to grow this, but you could use any kind of chive if you want. And I have some green scallion, which is great. This is what a green scallion, this is what a green scallion looks like. Then, oh, it's ready. Yay. I love when it tells me that. It's like, I'm ready whenever you are, right? Because then it goes right to to just on like a warm setting. But anyhow, I just want to quickly finish showing you this. So I cut the tips off, and then I have it like this. And if you're not familiar with these, when you wash these, you don't just, wash them this way, which is good, but I also like to let the water go into these tops. You see they're like little holes because actually dirt can get in there, and we don't want that. And then how I do it for this, to make this kind of a shape, is I go down the center, and this one has like another separation, so it looks like it's cut apart. I go down the center. I might, just score it a couple different ways like that. And then I just chop it into little bits, just like that. And although we have onion inside our chili, this is a nice, beautiful way to add to it on top and more of like a garnish. So that's why I just wanted to show you. Can never get enough greens and goodies in. Okay, so let's put this in here. There we go. Okay, And then the last thing I want to chop up is some fresh cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, leave it out, or you can use parsley. But before we do that, let's go ahead. I'm going to take this and put it from the ceiling to venting and let all of the steam and pressure be released so we can take a look inside. Here we go. And while that's doing that, I'm going to cut this up. Now, hopefully you can hear me okay. Woo, it's really steamy. I chopped the stems and used them as well, but if you didn't want to use them on top, you could always put them in your vegetable broth collection, or you can add them to a smoothie or just chop it up in a salad. But I like to use the whole thing. And so let's chop a little bit of this. This one leaf doesn't look so happy. Now, there's also a way to do this. You could simply grab it and chop it this way, chop, 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 chop. But you could also kind of put it in a ball like this and chop it. And it tends to slice it up better. Or you can use an herb scissors, which I love and have. And I use sometimes, I don't use it all the time, but it is a great tool. I'll show it to you. Here's an herb scissor, and what makes this an herb scissor is look at all of these. So you could do this with it. And it's like cutting a bunch at one time. See? And then look at, you just kind of do it like that. So there's all kinds of ways to do things, and I'm just going to, for the sake of showing you, I'm just going to finish cutting it the way I started it, all the way down to the very last tip. There we go. Now, if you didn't want to chop it, you could just take some and pull off whole leaves, right? And just have a pile of whole leaves and sprinkle that on top. That would be very nice. Okay, so I hear the Instant Pot is done releasing the pressure. I'm going to go ahead and move the cilantro over here into this little container and rinse my hands really quickly. I gotta tell you, it smells so good in here already. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's take a peek. Now, I like to make sure that when I pick the lid up, I hold it into the pot because the condensation water, I don't want it to spill all over the counter. There we go. Wow, doesn't that look pretty? I am super excited. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this. And if you have this kind of Instant Pot, where you have like one of these little things at the end, it fits right in here and it holds it open so that you can do whatever you're gonna do. I tend not to do that when I am with you guys because I don't want it to block the camera view. But at home, when I'm by myself, I do love that feature. So I'm just gonna set this over here for now. And then let's take a look in here. Oh my goodness, let me bring this over so the camera can really take a good look. And it is beautiful. Now it looks a little liquidy to me, so I wonder if over time that will thicken up. Now, another thing you could do is add some grain to this. Like you could put some cooked rice in here if you wanted, but I'm gonna leave it the way it is. And look at that beautiful, beautiful chili. So let me go ahead and get a little bowl. Let's taste it. Oh, doesn't that sound delicious? All right, and now I'm just gonna take a ladle of the chili and I'm just gonna put it right here. I'm gonna do some of the liquid. Oh yeah, look at that. And for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put some green scallion on here. I'm gonna do a little bit of cilantro because I just love it. and some garlic chive, as well as a little squeeze of lime. And there you go, beautiful. Ready to taste? Let me get something. I think I'll use a spoon. Okay, here we go, everyone. Let's see how we did for our quick and easy vegetable vegan chili. The flavors are delicious. The only thing is, I mean, the flavors are spot on. I love it. The only thing is that I do think that it's a little bit liquidy for me personally. And so I'm just wondering how I could thicken it up a little bit. So I might check into that, maybe cook it down a little bit more or add something to it. I don't think I'm going to add anything to it, like I was thinking arrowroot powder or something. I don't think so. But even just putting it on top of potato or rice or millet or quinoa would really soak it up, and that would be really delicious as well. So I hope that you give this a try. If you have any other suggestions for me, please feel free to reach out, and just know that simple is delicious. It doesn't have to be complicated. This freezes very well, and gosh almighty, is it full of good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this with a green salad, and we'll see you next time. Thanks everyone, take care, bye for now. You could even put this in like a taco shell or make tortillas. Oh my gosh, endless ideas. Yum. Wow.